Are new here, welcome. I have been visiting computer user groups across the country, and they're such an amazing resource that so many people don't know about. So really come back and take advantage of the resource because they're super helpful with questions and leading you to the right things to buy and all of that stuff. So my job today is to walk you through how you can safely surf the internet. But first I want to ask some questions. I started with computers about 20 years ago with my mom. She asked if I could teach her how to use a computer, and honestly, inside my head, my inside voice was saying, not a chance, she can't learn to do that. I base that, not because my mother isn't smart, but she still can't change the clock radio when the time changes. So I wasn't so convinced that technology was really her friend. What I underestimated was a determination to conquer something when there's a benefit if you conquer it. And my mother has a very curious mind. She wanted to be a librarian before she had us kids. She stayed home instead, but she loves to answer questions about the derivation of words or to follow where I am on the internet. So that was what got her to learn the technology, because there was a benefit. By a show of hands, how many people in here are under the age of 40? Me neither. We belong to a very specific club, or what I refer to as digital immigrants. Those people not born with a keyboard or a mouse in your hand. Digital natives are your grandchildren. They come into the house, they're 4 years old, they start watching something on what you thought was a chopping board, and you're like, what is that thing? Oh, it's a tablet. So I'm going to ask you, digital immigrants are just as smart. We're certainly wiser than digital natives. But statistically, you're going to move more slowly than they do when it comes to taking over technology, because it doesn't come naturally to us. We weren't born with it. It doesn't mean you can't learn it, but you're going to probably learn it more slowly, and that's perfectly fine. So I would suggest to you that you stop trying to compare yourself to digital natives, because it just isn't fruitful when they move along so fast. So here's what we're talking about tonight, is how to safely surf the internet online. Another couple of questions. Who in this room has a computer in their home? I'm assuming almost all of you do. A tablet instead of or along with a computer? A smartphone instead of a cell phone? Who's on Facebook? Who's on Twitter? Who thinks all of that social networking is a bunch of hooey? All right, I like an honest audience. So what I want to first talk about when we talk about safety is your safety, because I don't want to have it be that somehow using this technology in any way injures you. So here is the first thing we're going to discuss. The evolution of man. You see where we began, and you see where we end? We tend to not use the world's best posture when we're sitting at our computers. That's just the nature of the beast. In New York City, I've taught at NYU and Cooper Union, but I also teach one-on-one in people's homes. And I have been known to ask somebody to remove their belt so that I can strap it around their shoulders so I can tie them properly back into their chair. It's a good idea every once in a while when you sit at the computer to just stop yourself and freeze, honestly freeze in place, and just check out how you're sitting. The National Institute of Health says that no person should sit in front of a computer for more than 40 minutes without taking a 10-minute break. 40 minutes on, 10 minutes off. So the best thing you could do is get a kitchen timer and put it wherever you're using your technology and set it for 40 minutes. And when it rings at 10 minutes, you can go to the ladies' room, you can fix yourself a martini, you can do anything you want, but I have a little exercise that I'm going to show you, because what happens that is unique to using computers is when I'm looking at you, I'm scanning the room, and every time I move my eyes are naturally blinking and they're watering. When I look down and I'm reading a book, each time I turn the page, my eyes will naturally water and they'll blink. What happens when you look at a computer screen, because of the nature of the size and the distance from your head, you don't have to move your eyes to take in everything that's on the screen. So what it contributes to is something called dry eye. And dry eye makes any eye issue that you have worse. So we don't want to help dry eye. So when the kitchen timer goes off after 40 minutes, what I want you to do is I want you to rub your hands together until your palms are warm. And then you're going to take your palms and put them over your eyes. You're going to roll your eyes around and take your hands off and look in the distance. So let me do that for you again. You'll rub your hands together at the 40-minute mark. You'll get your palms nice and warm. Then you'll put them over your eyes. Roll your eyes around, open your hands and look in the distance, and that's an exercise that will try to slow down the process of dry eye. There's another issue at hand here, because everything that we're carrying right now, it's digital in our hands instead of just being at a desk. If there's only one thing that you remember from this talk, this is the most important slide that I'm going to show you. because this is terrifying to me. So our spines have, honestly, I think our spines just have